yeah, is it Thursday already? Okay, we got to talk about this seventh episode of Skeleton Crew because it was absolutely insane. I mean, murdering Brutus in cold blood, chopping SM-33's head off, not really learning about Jod's backstory, but we'll get to all that. And of course, the crazy cliffhanger that left us wanting more for episode 8, the finale of this Skeleton Crew series. So without further ado, let's dive into all of it. What's up, everybody? How's everybody doing on this fine Thursday afternoon? Okay, I understand that episode 7 was crazy. I get it. But tell me what you rate that episode 7 out of 10. Tell me in the chat as I open up the chat and we say hi to everybody. First things first, as we usually do. Adam, what is up? Fern, how we doing? I Haja in the house. Mr. Slash X, what is up? Star Wars Santa in the house. John Groom, how we doing? Matthew, what is up? Star Wars Order 50 Thunder, what is up? Brandon Baker, how we doing? Selena, what is up? Bryant in the house. Andrew, what's up? Ficone, how we doing? Starship 66, what is up? Mike in the house. All right, if I missed you, you know the deal. Just yell at me in the chat. Let's give everybody a nice little...
Hello there.
General Kenobi.
Okay, again, give your ranking for this 7th episode out of 10 in the chat. I'm very curious to see where you guys are at because I absolutely love this episode. It is my favorite episode of the series so far, but that hasn't really been the consensus, I guess, across the Star Wars fandom from what I've seen online, A lot of people thought the episode was too short, or they wanted to see Jod's backstory, which we seemed to be very, very set on. I thought we were going to be getting a flashback in this episode to Jod's backstory. We didn't get it. And by the way, of course, Jod was a bad guy. All you guys were like, oh, he's going to become the hero again. Nope. Obviously. He was never the hero once in this show, and it's still crazy to me that you guys thought he was going to come back and be a hero. But having said that, we didn't get his backstory. We don't know how he's able to wield the Force. And we don't know where he came from, whether he was a Jedi at some point, whether he was alive during Order 66. We don't know any of it. But it will be revealed. So some people have lost hope that there will be no backstory for Jod, that he's just some random character that we'll never learn about. But that's not the case. Episode 8 will give us a backstory, or at least an explanation to Jod's backstory, where he's from, what happened to him, why he is the way that he is. Why are you the way that you are? We're going to learn all of that in episode 8, as Jude Law has confirmed it himself. He has not confirmed when it will happen, but he did confirm that it will happen. We will learn about his backstory. And we'll get into that in a little bit. But rank this episode out of 10 in the chat. Let me see what you guys think. Some 9s, 9, 9, 9, a lot of 9s. 7, 10, okay. Smile around, what's up? 10 plus, interesting. 9.7, 8, 8.5, 8, 7, 8.5, 8.5, 8.5, a lot of 8.5s. 9.5, 13 out of 10, 10. Okay, so some pretty high scores for the most part. Pretty high scores. But let me actually put up a poll in the chat. I want to do this because we always do this at the end of the live watch parties. But once you get a couple days to sort of think about it, it's a lot better. So let's do this. What did you think of episode 7? Did you love it? Did you like it? Were you like, meh, I mean, it's all right? Or did you hate it? Hopefully nobody hated it, but we'll see. We shall see. Tell me in the chat. Did you love it, like it, meh, or hate it? Let's find out. All right, I'll leave that poll up there for a little bit, see how that goes. But let's break down this episode because a lot happened in this very short episode. I understand the run times. Everybody wants to spend so much time in Star Wars. The more time, the better. Every episode should be 2 hours long. I get it. I want it to be longer too. However, think about this episode. Think about episode 7 as we break it down. If it were another 15 minutes longer, would it have changed anything? Like, it would still be the same episode. There would just be 15 minutes in there that were just nonsense, just dragging on forever. I'm of the mind that if a 30-minute episode is straight banger the whole 30 minutes, then I don't want an extra 30 minutes that are just going to be nonsense and boring. I'd rather it be a concise episode that's awesome than a longer episode that's drawn out and boring. So if the story warrants a 30-minute episode, then that's what the episode's going to be. So runtimes are an argument that will be had till the end of time. Should this episode have been longer? Maybe, but then they would have had to add a bunch of new characters or add a new plot point to the show. Like, there's a lot that has to go into extending an episode's length. So the 30-minute runtime, or 37, whatever it was not really the problem for me for this episode. It wasn't a problem at all, actually, because the episode from start to finish, literally start to the very end, the very final scene of the cliffhanger ending of him igniting the lightsaber like freaking Count Dooku or Anakin during Order 66, had me on the edge of my seat. Them killing Brutus like that, I did not see that coming. SM-33 getting his head chopped off, nobody saw that coming. Nobody. So it had you on the edge of your seat the entire time. And now, with a whole week to predict what's going to happen next, we have no idea what Jod's going to do. Is he going to kill the parents and the kids? I doubt it, but he did threaten the kids to do so. So what is his plan? He's by himself on this planet where he has no way to get reinforcements, except for to take down the barrier, which he has no idea how to do that. We're going to speculate about all that, but let's break down the episode first. That was just my little spiel on runtime, because yes, runtime is important. You want to spend a lot of time in Star Wars. But if it takes away from the story, if it drags on, makes it boring, makes it not fun, makes it not a good episode, then I'd rather it be a shorter episode. Usually, now not all the time, but usually the shorter episodes in The Mandalorian, in Ahsoka, in anything, are usually the better ones. Because they know that they got something really good, so the runtime can be shorter. And that is what I saw, at least, with this 7th episode. Now, rumor has it that episode 8 is going to be a lot longer. Rumor has it episode 8 might be over 50 minutes, which would be a lot longer than any of the episodes we've gotten so far in the Skeleton Crew series. I wouldn't hold my breath on that because pretty much everybody's been wrong on runtime so far. Last week I heard like 46 minutes, 41 minutes, and the episode was 36 or whatever it was. So they're usually wrong, but a nice longer finale would make sense. But we'll see. We shall see. Let's break down this episode, shall we? And by the way, the ending, the ending. I got something crazy to show you guys about this ending. You might have caught it. You might have missed it. I don't know, but we'll talk about it. Okay? So let's start by breaking this episode down. Now, I can't show you the entire episode. We can't go through the episode. I'll get copy struck for showing you guys the episode. It just doesn't work like that. However, Star Wars so graciously posted this online of sort of a episode 3 episode 3. I wish we were still on episode 3. Episode 7 teaser. So let's take a look at this. Oh, hang on. Yeah, take a look at this.
We meet. Caught in a tractor beam. We're dead meat. We're pirates meat.
We did what we had to. Run!
We need a plan.
If you hear this, don't give up.
Don't stop! Keep going!
Okay.
We meet.
Whoa. Okay. So now that we're all hyped up, that got you hyped, that got you going, because you're not going to be able to hear any of the audio going forward. So you remember how hype you were watching that. Remember how hype you were when SM-33's head got chopped off. Remember how much you really hated Jod in the moment as we break down this episode, okay? Okay. So we first start on, it opens on At-Attin, where the parents are all building this communication buoy, okay? This communication buoy that is going to communicate to their kids, going to send out a beacon of hope to these kids that are trapped outside of At-Attin. Now, it's really strange to me. Obviously, the parents are holding out hope that their kids are still alive, but they would have no idea that their kids are still alive. They left the planet on a crazy spaceship. How would they even know they made it past the barrier? I don't know. But, of course, they're parents, so they're going to do anything they can to get their kids back. They create this crazy barrier. They all get stunned by the security droids or safety droids on the planet. And eventually, Farah, Fern's mom, is the one who gets it off. Oh, where is that? Yeah, so she escapes and puts the beacon off. And that starts the episode. We don't really spend much time with these parents. We haven't seen them since episode 4, maybe? Episode 4. So we haven't seen them in quite some time. Yeah. But we do see them at the beginning of this episode. They kick it off. They get the buoy going. And we actually get to see the parents in At-Attin. They all get stunned and brought in. We don't see them until very later on in the episode. But we then cut to the kids who are playing on... There we go. They're playing on the ship. They're on their way home. They've seemed to have done it. They've gotten back to their house. Safe and sound. All 4 of them still alive. They got this nice, shiny new onyx cinder. And no Jod. For now. No pirates. For now. They think they're sort of home free. They're finally back. But that's not the case. Wim is bummed out because their adventure has come to an end. I made the joke in my breakdown video that Wim was just trying to avoid taking a test this whole show. This entire adventure of them getting off their home planet, coming into contact with pirates, almost dying a million different times. It was all just because Wim didn't want to take a test. Pretty funny. But Wim's bummed out because they're making it back home and he doesn't want to be. But then we cut to the pirates who've arrived before them. And this is where things get really cool. So Brutus sees that this is just a giant gas planet, or it looks like a gas planet, a giant storm on the planet, so nobody can live inside. At least that's what he believes. And Jod's like, what are you, stupid? What are you, dumb? And he's like, obviously, it's a hidden treasure, so it's going to be hidden and not easy to get through. Now, we learn in this episode that the Onyx Cinder is the key to all of this. And it's not because it was Tak Rened's ship, but because it is an At-Attin ship, as Wim puts it. It was a Old Republic ship. Now, we're going to talk about when At-Attin was hidden and who hid it in today's live stream. So keep that in the back of your heads, because in this scene, Jod mentions that At-Attin has been lost for hundreds of years. Now, hundreds of years is the actually first specific time frame that we've gotten for how long At-Attin has been hidden. Now, how long it's been hidden away from the pirates is hundreds of years. Not 100, but hundreds. Multiple hundreds. Meaning At-Attin could be missing for 400 years, 500 years, 600, 700, 800, 900. Who knows? But to the pirates, since Tak Rened, it's been hundreds of years. So at least a couple hundred of years have passed since Tak Rened tried to get to At-Attin. The legend of Tak Rened has grown large in the pirate world, the most legendary pirate of all time. That happened over hundreds of years. Okay? Okay. So the first final timeline that we've gotten for At-Attin being hidden is at least hundreds of years ago. And that takes us at least to the High Republic era. Now, what's really interesting is that Star Wars was acquired by Disney back in 2012. Did you know that? Did you know that, chat? Did you know that? Disney owned Star Wars? Bet you didn't. However, some fans have very strong opinions on whether or not they really like Disney Star Wars or really don't like Disney Star Wars. With that being said, there was the first project from Disney, well, Star Wars Rebels, but it was the sequel trilogy. And the sequel trilogy, of course, has a very divided fandom, to say the least. But at the same time as the sequel trilogy, Lucasfilm created this writer's room. And this writer's room worked for years and years to create a brand new story in a brand new time period in the Star Wars galaxy with brand new cast of Jedi, brand new villains, brand new everything, brand new species, brand new everything. And that is the High Republic, a very well thought out, planned whole novelization, trilogies on trilogies of books, 3 different phases, all planned out from start to finish. This big writer's room. And it seems like, because we're on phase 3 right now, if you aren't following the High Republic novels, it seems like, well, one, not many people are reading those novels. Just in general, the sales aren't that great. But it doesn't seem like they're focusing on that time period at all. We've had very little connections to the High Republic content. One being Jedi Survivor, with Dagon being the villain with the one-armed Jedi who survived in a bacta tank for all those years. The problem is the original trilogy and the prequel trilogy have no connections to the High Republic era, other than the Jedi, but they don't have connections. So you have to draw some connections from hundreds of years prior. And the only way you can really do that would be in a show like Skeleton Crew. So let's talk about this. We learn in the very first episode of the Skeleton Crew series that the people of At-Attin are working towards this great works. Now, we talked about her before, but Chancellor Lena So is the chancellor at the time of the High Republic, and she puts into effect her great works. So it seems as though the At-Attin great works and Lena So's great works that both take place hundreds of years before the prequel trilogy, it would make sense that both of those are the same thing, or at least related to each other in one way or another. Meaning, At-Attin has been lost for hundreds of years, just like Jod Nawood explains there. Okay? So, that brings us at least to the High Republic era, where these great works are happening. So keep that in the back of your head as we keep going. At-Attin has not only been hidden for hundreds of years, but might not have had a visitor for hundreds of years, because all the other 8 lost planets are destroyed. Let's keep going. So, they get there. Jod calls him stupid. They throw him in the airlock, but he's like, we got to send a ship down there. So they send a ship down. They send our boy Glurb. Glurb was trying to create a nice, what was it? Something weed farm, plantation, glowweed farm. Yes, that's what I was looking for. A glowweed plantation. And well, it's not really going to happen for our boy Glurb, because Glurb goes down and dies. Yeah, he dies. R.I.P. Glurb, first guy to die in the episode. Not the last. Definitely not the last, and probably not the most important, but R.I.P. Glurb. So Glurb goes and dies, and Jod gets tossed into the airlock. Well, in there, the Onyx Cinder arrives, actually saving his ass because he was about to be blasted off into oblivion to die in space. But no, the Onyx Cinder arrives and saves the day. Or saves Jod's life, I guess. Because he realizes that that ship is the key. That ship has been to At-Attin before and has left At-Attin, meaning it can go back. And he's sort of kind of piecing it together. He hasn't done it fully, but he's kind of pieced it together himself. So they draw in the Onyx Cinder in a tractor beam, and this is when we get a pretty cool scene. So on their way down, Brutus is like, I'm going to kill you after all this, blah, blah, blah. This is your last life. And Jod's like, you probably shouldn't do that. The crew loves me. He's like, no, they love plunder. He's like, no, they love me. And Jod actually might be onto something here. I get it. He's kind of just being like that stuck up, whatever, kind of whatever, the character that he is. But he might actually be onto something here. The reason that he was given chance after chance after chance is because of these crew members that keep giving him a chance. The lady who said that he should get the right to talk, the lady who, she's the same lady who saved him from the airlock, easy for me to say or remember, and the guy who didn't press the button on the airlock. It seems like the crew does love Jod, and that's why he gets away with what he does next, which is kill Brutus. So the kids set up a trap using KB's voice modulator. She sounds like a very threatening droid or voice or whatever you want to call it. And again, this is a tie back to an earlier episode. This show does not get enough credit for how, first of all, good it is, but second of all, how well it is written and how well it's crafted. Everything, well, not everything, but most things that were in the first couple episodes have come back to play a huge role later on in the series. It not only makes you want to go back and watch those first couple episodes again, but it makes you think, what's coming next, and did I miss it? I feel like episode 8 is going to have some massive reveals that are like, oh, duh. Clearly, that was what was set up in the first episode or the second episode or the third episode. Duh. And one of those duh things, I think, is likely to be KB calling in Kim. The owl from episode 3 who said, if you ever need help, you can call me. Like, obviously, they need help. Jod is here. The pirates are here. If they can get any transmission off-world, then they are going to. And KB will try to contact Kim, who will contact the New Republic. And then the New Republic will hopefully come in and save the day. At least that's my running theory right now. Still working on it. There are so many things in the early episodes of this season that have come back to play a role in the back half, and one of them being KB's voice modulation and what we're about to see right here, this arm that comes down and grabs Brutus. Oops. Come on. There. This arm that comes down and grabs Brutus was sort of just teased as a joke in episode 3, in episode 5, but they had to set it up before for this scene, for when Brutus gets caught. It's just freaking genius, and I'm really on the edge of my seat waiting to see what's going to come next for like something very small that was introduced in the first couple episodes, and then becomes something very huge down the line. But the kids realize that Jod is with the pirates and not in the brig, and that's when they realize they're in big, big trouble. They're in big doo-doo this time, as Jod murders Brutus. Give me a 1 into the chat if you saw this coming. And don't lie and be like, of course I saw it coming, Mike. Nah, nah, nah. Actually, be honest. Did you think that Brutus was going to die in this episode? I wasn't. I did not see this coming at all. And if you go back and watch my live reaction, I didn't see it coming at all. But, I mean, no. You guys are You're liars. You're liars. Nobody saw this coming. Brutus dying. Maybe Brutus dying in the finale, but not like this. Not like this in cold blood to Jod. No, not even close. Yeah. So Brutus dies, and Jod takes back over. Tells his crew there's going to be 4 very scared kids on board. Go take care of them. Blah, 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 blah. And they go do so. So they capture the kids, and the buoy, communication buoy that was sent up at the beginning of the episode, makes it out of the atmosphere, past the barrier. Jod puts his helmet back on, becomes Captain Silvo yet again. And honestly, chat, I really like the helmet. I really like the helmet, and I'm bummed out that we only get like 2 scenes with him with the helmet on. I get it. There's really cool helmets in Star Wars. You got Vader, you got Kylo Ren, you got Chimere, you got if you go Legends, you got Revan. You got a ton of cool helmets in Star Wars. This one's up there. This is a really cool helmet. And it's only in for like 2 seconds. But, having said that, they watch the holo message. Now, all the parents are sort of cryptic in what they're saying, not giving any coordinates back to At-Attin, not giving away too much information because they don't want, of course, pirates to find it first and come and to destroy their planet. However, Fern's mom tells them to find a Republic emissary. Now, clearly the people of At-Attin are lost in time, because the Republic that they're referring to is something from hundreds and hundreds of years ago. Not the New Republic, because the New Republic just got put into place. No, they don't even know that the Empire was around. They don't know Palpatine existed. They don't know that Order 66 happened and all the Jedi in the galaxy, or most of them, are dead now. They have no idea. So this Republic emissary that Fern's mom is telling them to go find doesn't exist. Good news is the kids don't waste their time going to look for one, but they don't exist. These people are really lost in time. Like real bad. So that's that's the parents' sort of message. Go find a Republic emissary to get you back home. And it doesn't work. But seeing their parents was sort of this feel-good moment for the kids. It was like, oh yeah, we get to see our parents. Woohoo, yeah, woohoo. No. They're bummed out. They want to get back home. They're so close. They can almost taste it. And it's really funny. The description of this episode on Disney Plus was like, the kids have never felt further away from their home. And I mean, that's exactly right. They were this close to getting back home, and then they were dragged in by a tractor beam, and now they're trapped. And they've never felt further away. Even with a message from their parents, they can see the outside of their planet, the atmosphere, the gas cloud around their planet, the barrier, and they can't get there. So Wim, of course, is bummed out about it and yells, "Attack!" And he just straight up just starts attacking the pirates. Doesn't work, clearly. But he gets into this screaming match with Captain Silvo, our boy Jod. And whilst in a screaming match, He says that this is our ship and we found it first. To which Jod responds with, well, it's mine now. And this is where things get pretty interesting. Some fans are wondering, what's the deal with SM-33 here? Because I get it. The whole unclaimsies thing, it sounds kind of dumb. It's a sort of a Scooby-Doo ending, as some people were putting it. But here's where it actually makes sense. SM-33 is obviously a droid, so he's got programming. And his programming, because he's a pirate droid, has to do with the pirate code. But we've seen droids in the past have attachments to certain people. I mean, R2-D2, C-3PO, like Chopper. We've seen that happen before. They have their own personalities. They have their own motherboards. I was going to say a brain, but they don't have a brain. They have their own personalities. They have people that they like. We'll put it that way. So I think SM-33, of course, has programming for the pirate code, but likes the kids more than Jod. He knows that Jod's a bad guy. He's seen that, obviously. So I think in this scene, what's going on here is SM-33 is looking for any sort of loophole to get out of the pirate code. Now, we don't know the entire pirate code, but clearly there's some loopholes there because Fern yells unclaimsies, and SM-33 says that's enough. But he also explains that Jod can only be the captain of one ship. So if the unclaimsies isn't enough for you, well, that makes perfect sense as well. Jod is the captain now of the frigate, of the giant pirate ship that they are inside of. He can't also be the captain of the Onyx Cinder. It just can't happen. The pirate code only allows you to be the captain of one thing at a time. So SM-33 sees the hole in the pirate code, sees that Jod can't be the captain of the Onyx Cinder, and it's enough. He punches Jod in the head, knocks him out cold, breaks the helmet that he has on, the badass helmet, and drags them outside. Now, when Jod wakes up, he's watching as the Onyx Cinder takes off. Now, I speculated in my breakdown video that he could have used force speed here. Honestly, he might not have had to, but he somehow gets back on the ship very quickly. So whether it was force speed, in my head I want it to be force speed, so I'm calling it force speed. In my head canon, it's force speed, but whatever you think it is, tell me in the chat. He could have force jumped onto the thing like Qui-Gon does in The Phantom Menace. I don't know. But he gets back on the ship without the other characters knowing. So they send off 2 pirate ships after the Onyx Cinder as it goes into the atmosphere. And this is where it gets really cool. We get a real close look at these satellite things, the barrier, as it were. And this allows nobody to get back inside of At-Attin, or leave At-Attin for that matter, too. And that's why our boy Glurb died earlier on in the episode, and that's why these 2 pirate ships that chase the Onyx Cinder down also die. But we come to the realization, and nobody else did, by the way, that the reason that the Onyx Cinder was able to so easily leave At-Attin in the very first episode with the kids on it, when they were very concerned about hitting the barrier, we're going to hit the barrier, and they didn't. The reason for that is because the Onyx Cinder is a ship that is supposed to be there. It is an At-Attin ship, not a pirate ship. And again, give me a 1 into the chat if you knew that this was coming. And don't lie to me, because none of us did. I didn't either. We were wondering why the Onyx Cinder was so special. We knew it was Tack Rennett's ship, but nobody was thinking it was going to be an At-Attin ship. And it's the perfect logical explanation. It's the only logical explanation. However, it's an old-ass ship. So they do make it down, or they make it into the atmosphere, or in past the atmosphere, and we get a cool look at, oh, come on, give me the frame. Give me that frame that I'm clicking on. What the heck? Let's try this. Nope. All right, that's good enough. We see At-Attin. Now, what I thought was that the sort of storm cloud around At-Attin was directly around it. Like it was just going to be this planet with a storm cloud wrapped right around it. But that wasn't the case. At-Attin is this tiny little planet inside this massive, big bubble of a storm cloud, of the barrier. And that's how it's remained hidden for so long. It's impossible to scan this planet on any scanners. It's impossible to find this planet unless you know that it's there. And the only way you know that it's there is if you have the coordinates and if you're crazy enough to try and get through that barrier. But you're going to die unless you have a ship that's supposed to get through the barrier. Simple as that. So unless you can get down to the planet and turn off the barrier, but that means you have to get through the barrier, then it's impossible to get through and it's impossible to find the planet. Now, the question was brought up, how on earth were the other 8 planets that were hidden away as the jewels of the Old Republic, how were those other 8 planets destroyed? What happened? How did those 8 planets get found and who got through the barrier to destroy it? I don't know. It could have been a civil war on the planet. Maybe they found out what they were doing, didn't want to do it anymore. I have no idea. But the other 8 planets were destroyed. The hyperspace disaster, that could be the case for maybe 1 or 2 of them, but for all of them? I'm sure these planets were spread out. That's for sure. Yeah. Yeah. The Nile. The Nile could have, but how would they get to the planet? That's the thing. How would they get to the planet? I mean, you could, in theory, jump into hyperspace inside of this bubble. That'd be pretty dangerous. That'd be pretty dangerous. Yeah. Okay, but let's keep going. So they lock into this autopilot sequence. Again, a reference to the episode where they go to At-Attin, episode 4. Yeah, episode 4. Where they go to At-Attin. When they get into this autopilot sequence, the only reason they go into that autopilot landing sequence is because this is a freaking Jewel of the Old Republic ship. That's why they go into the auto landing sequence on At-Attin and on At-Attin. Nobody noticed. All the breadcrumbs were there, and we still didn't notice. We speculate 6 hours a week here, and even more in the Discord. If you are not yet in the Discord, there's a link in the description below to a Discord called The People Who Love Star Wars. Go join it immediately. But we speculate all day long about all these different Easter eggs and what's to come next in the Skeleton Crew series, and nobody saw this coming. Nobody. These tiny little breadcrumbs have been scattered across this series, and we missed them all, for the most part. I mean, we've caught a few of them. We've caught a few, but we've missed them all. And honestly, episode 8 is likely to have a lot of those breadcrumbs come to reality again. It is. So we'll see. But once they seem like they're home sweet home and nobody's going to find them ever again, Fern says, "My mom was lying on that message. We are in so much trouble." And then she says, "But I don't care." And she gets so rudely interrupted by Jod. Jod, of course, hopped onto the Onyx Cinder. And let's see if I can just do this. Oh, what a frame. What a frame. SM-33 goes to take care of him, and he chops his head off. Again. Episode 7 was so good. It was so good in many different ways, but one of the biggest ones is nobody saw this coming. I've said it 4 times already. Nobody saw this coming. It's crazy. He chopped off SM-33's head. Now, here's the deal. SM-33 is a droid. He is likely to be able to be fixed. He can be fixed. Like, C-3PO has had worse damage than this before and made it through. But still, he chops off SM-33's head. So, the question as to whether Jod will become a hero or a villain by the end of this series, which I was asking all last week, and you were all telling me he would be a hero, when I was like, what? Jod has never once been a hero in this show. Never once. Never given an instant where we think, oh, he might be a good guy. Every person that they meet, every single person that they meet tells the kids to not trust Jod. Jod only helps the kids because he needs them to get to this treasure. As soon as he doesn't need them in episode 5, he literally holds a knife up to Fern's throat and tries to kill them. Well, I guess he doesn't kill them. He requests her to yield, not wanting to kill her. True. But still, as soon as he doesn't need the kids, he casts them to the side and doesn't care about them anymore. Never cared about them in the first place. And yet, for some reason, I guess it's just the humanity in all of you guys, you wanted him to come back and be the good guy. Nope. Nope. Instead, he murders Brutus in cold blood and chops off SM-33's head. Now, here's the deal. Does this make Jod's character one of the worst characters in Star Wars history? And what I mean by worst, I don't mean like a bad written character or anything like that. He's a great written character. Jude Law's performance is incredible. I mean, like, does this make him one of the most evil, bad guys in Star Wars? What do we think? What do we think? Because I've seen a lot of people comparing him to like a... actually, I got something to show you actually right here. Yeah, like this. Traitors of the Star Wars universe. Like, he's getting compared to the worst of the worst here. Like Pong Krell, really? That's some bad. That's bad. That's real bad. Is he really that bad? There we go. Minnowland puts it perfectly. Vader was worse. And Vader was redeemed. Now, I do not think that Jod would be redeemed in this final episode. No, not at all. Could he be redeemed eventually? Let's say, and I'm going to go crazy right now for a second, just bear with me. Let's say Jod, in this finale, goes off, the finale ends, and Jod goes off with Grand Admiral Thrawn. Okay, I get it. It's crazy. It's crazy. Hold up. He goes off with Grand Admiral Thrawn as a bad guy, obviously. And he goes off to be his sort of Force-using right-hand man type deal. A Force user with the lightsaber to combat the Force users with the lightsaber that he's going to go up against. Luke Skywalker, Ezra Bridger, etc. Maybe Cal Kestis. But Jod is a bad guy for quite some time. The Mandoverse is going to be a long story. A very, very long story. I mean, it's going to be hopefully an entire trilogy, Ahsoka Season 2, maybe Skeleton Crew Season 2. Like, there's going to be a lot more story to be told. And Jod could eventually come back to the light. Probably because of the kids, but we'll eventually we'll see. But I don't see it happening in Episode 8. There's just not enough time. There's not enough. Now, I actually don't see and don't put Jod in the conversation with these characters. And here's why. He hasn't really done that much bad yet. Now, in the finale, he has the opportunity to. At the end of this episode, he does ignite a lightsaber in front of all the kids and their parents. Will he chop all their heads off? Probably not. But if he does, then yes, he's obviously a bad guy. But right now, the only people that he's killed are Brutus, who's the pirate captain, not really a good guy, and SM-33, but he killed a droid that can be re-put together. He hasn't really killed any innocents. He hasn't chopped off any of the kids' head. He didn't put Neil and chop his head off, just as an example, yet. So I don't think he should be in the conversation with these guys. Not yet, at least. The finale could change that. But right now, he's only killed the pirate captain. Yes, he tried to kill Kim in Episode 3, but he didn't. Maybe he killed all the warriors on At-Attin, but we don't know that yet. But he chopped SM-33's head off, as we can see right here. But SM-33 is a droid. So yes, we feel a lot of feelings towards droids, but he can be recrafted. He can be re-put together. So right now, he hasn't really done too much bad. He could go very evil in the finale, don't get me wrong. And he went very evil in this episode. I don't think he'll be a good guy by the end of this series, but he's not the worst of the worst when it comes to Star Wars. I mean, yes, Vader, Anakin is way worse than him. Way worse. But he hasn't really done much yet, other than chop off SM-33's head. So he chops off SM-33's head, and it gets real dark real quick as Jod starts yelling at the kids, telling them to sit over on the side, tells them to shut up, tells them how he's going to slice and dice all their parents up. It's real dark. And a huge round of applause to Jude Law for this. I mean, we knew he was a great actor, but this was the scene. I mean, it had to be dark. It hit full-on switch, 180, turn on its head. This was a kid show, fun action adventure. The last episode ended with a cool escape scene of them getting this nice new ship. Wim claims he's on the ship. This episode so far has been nice and kind of upbeat, not really that dark, until this scene. As soon as he chops off SM-33's head, the music goes dark. The entire scene goes dark. Jod starts yelling at the kids, starts telling them how he's going to carve up their parents. Yeah. He's like, I saw their faces. I'm going to carve up your parents piece by piece, torture them. Like, it got dark really quickly. Really quickly. So for all those people out there that say this is a kid show, I probably wouldn't be showing it to my very, very young kid. However, Star Wars, as it always is meant for those 10, 11, 12, 13, 14-year-old kids. It just so happens that it's so great that it also works for adults too. Okay. Having said that, those people who are like, oh, it's a little kid show. Nope. Watch this scene. So it's a very, very dark scene. And it ends with him talking about how he's going to torture the parents. And of course, it cuts to the parents. Now, the parents are being asked by the safety droid why they made that communication device and why they sent it off planet. A valid question, but they said it was because they gave them no other choice. And we get a message from the supervisor. For the first time of the entire series, we've heard the supervisor's voice. And everybody seems to have the same explanation to this. It sounds like the Wizard of Oz. It sounds like some fake voice that was just created by a droid or whatever that is being shown or screamed over the intercom. And what he says is actually really interesting, so I'm going to put the closed captioning on here because what he says is really cool. Hang on. So, let's see. He says, citizens of At-Attin, this is your supervisor speaking. Again, very Wizard of Oz of him. And he tells them that an emissary is arriving for a shipment. For a shipment. A shipment of what? Well, credits. So a Republic emissary is arriving for a shipment of credits. The Great Works, the main reason that At-Attin is hidden away is to create these credits for the Republic so they can come and pick them up. However, when this is happening, everybody on the planet looks so confused. They have no idea what's going on. This hasn't happened in their entire lives, and who knows when the last time it happened was. At least a generation. At least. Because they have no clue what's going on. KB's moms realize that it's KB because they get this beacon on their wrist, on their watch, whatever it is. And the supervisor tells them that all non-essential work is done for the day. Everybody is done for the day because this Republic emissary is coming in to get this shipment. Pretty wild. Well, let's keep going. So the ship comes in for a landing, and this is where it gets weird. Like I mentioned before, they have no idea what's going on because the floor below them starts to come up, and people are standing right on it. These people have no idea what's going on. They're standing right where the ship is supposed to land. So obviously, there has not been a Republic emissary arriving on At-Attin for hundreds upon hundreds of years. But after they land, they get locked in. Oops. Hang on. They get locked in. So this Onyx Cinder is not going anywhere without the safety droids allowing them to. So Jod's escape plan, he doesn't have one. There's no way he's lifting off on this ship without the people of At-Attin or the droids of At-Attin wanting him to leave. So he's stuck. I get that it seems like he has all the control. He found the treasure. He has a lightsaber. He's holding it up to all the parents and the kids. But he's really not in control here. He's by himself. He's got almost none of the control. And he's tied to the planet with no backup. So, they get tied down. And Jod comes out, and what a lot of people noticed was that he's flashing his lightsaber. He's proving to the people here that he is a Jedi, to the droids that are about to come meet him, that he is a Jedi. And the lightsaber that he's showing off looks to be a High Republic Jedi, High Republic lightsaber. Sorry. It's gold. It's silver. It's very reminiscent of the High Republic era. Another connection that makes us think that this At-Attin planet has been missing since the High Republic era. Maybe not the Old Republic era, but the High Republic era. Okay? So he's flashing the lightsaber, and the security droids come to talk to him. And when he's talking to him, they say that it's our programming to immediately take the emissary down. It says planet-wide protocol requires that any visiting emissary will be immediately brought to the Old Republic Mint, or the Mint. So, of course, he's going to do that. He wants to see this for himself. Does this Mint truly exist? Are these credits really here? He wants to see the treasure. And that's what he gets. But he talks about having to get his ship down here, too. And that's what this conversation's about down here. Oh. Yeah. So he has to get his ship down through the barrier. But as the safety droid tells them, that's impossible. Without the supervisors, the supervisor is the only one who has the ability to turn off the barrier. So he has to go talk to the supervisor. In episode 8, we will learn who the supervisor is. Yes, we heard his voice in this episode. He sounds like the Wizard of Oz. But we will learn who it is. Whether it's a droid, whether it's somebody else. Some people still think it's Tack Reddit. I don't think so. Some people think it's Neil's dad. I don't think so. I think it's a droid. But we'll see. Either way, the supervisor's tower is what has the ability to turn off the barrier. So Jod, at some point, is going to have to get up into that tower, turn off the barrier if he wants reinforcements, if he wants his ship to come down and pick up all the credits. I'm guessing that will happen in episode 8. Somehow, some way, he's going to hold all these people hostage and force his way into that supervisor's tower. Whether he does it, like, nicely or by actually wielding lightsabers and chopping people off, I don't know. But only time will tell, I guess. We do get a look at the Old Republic Mint. Again, I don't know what I thought it was going to look like. When you think of treasure, you think of what's in the vault. You don't think of this, but this is an Old Republic Mint. This is what crafts all the credits. It looks like a nuclear reactor of some sort. It's kind of cool. I didn't know what to expect, but it does look pretty cool. It creates credits. They make their way down to the vault, where we learn that there are, as he says this, how many vaults are there like this? There are 1,139 vaults. That's a lot of credits, chat. That's a lot of credits. I mean, there's billions of credits at least in this one vault. So you're talking trillions upon trillions of credits that are ready to go. And yes, like Sailor says in the chat, 1,139 vaults is likely a reference to George Lucas's THX 1138, which is his first ever feature film, which is pretty cool. I don't know why they didn't just make it 11,038 instead of 1138 instead of 1139. I don't know. Maybe it was a little bit too on the nose. Maybe they wanted to one-up George. I don't know. Yeah. I do see your super chats, guys. I just want to get through this breakdown, and then I'll get to all your super chats. I appreciate them quite a bit. I will spend the time on them. Don't you worry. But I want to finish this off really quickly. Okay. So 1,139 of these vaults exist. That's crazy. Okay. So we get a look at this vault, and it is enormous. I mean, look at all those credits. That's a lot of credits. And Jog goes to take a piece off, or he's looking at it like it's, oh my God. And then he takes a piece off, and they all start to fall. And then the parents' kids come flying down. We get this awesome, cool reunion between the kids. They finally made it back home after 7 episodes, and they all make it back home. Yay, woohoo, yeah, celebration. Nope! Jod comes up behind them. Can I get the frame? And ignites his lightsaber. And of course, because it's Star Wars, because it's Disney Plus, because there's only 1 episode left, they end on a gigantic cliffhanger of Jod holding the lightsaber up to all the kids and their parents. Now, I actually think this is going to go a lot different than most people do. I think Jod is igniting the lightsaber to prove that he is a Jedi to these parents. And as he told the kids, threatened the kids on the ship before, if they say a word about who he is or what his intentions are, then he will chop up all their parents. So I think these kids will be scared shitless to not say anything about Jod being a bad guy, at least not yet, while Jod is around, because they want him to not kill their parents, obviously. So they're not going to say anything. And Jod's going to remain the hero for a little bit. He's going to claim to be a High Republic Jedi, and the safety droids will still trust him. The parents will trust him. Everybody will trust him for a while, at least until the kids inform them that he's not who he says he is. So I think that will happen later on when Jod goes into the supervisor's tower and leaves everybody else behind. That's when the parents will get informed that Jod is a bad guy and shit's going to hit the fan real quick. So I think this cliffhanger is not that Jod's going to just slice and dice all these parents and kids. No, I don't think it's going to be a Order 66 type deal where Anakin's killing younglings. I think it's going to be the reverse of that. He's going to pretend to be a Jedi, pretend to be a good guy, because he can't fight his way out of this. It's one on an entire planet. He can't take those odds. He has to remain a calm, Jedi-looking person right away. He can't just start slicing and dicing people, or else he's going to be caught. So he has to play it cool at first. At least that's what I think. That's what I think is going on. Yeah. The parents know what's going on? I don't think so. There's no way they would. Why would they? Why would they assume a guy with a lightsaber would be a good guy? I mean, a bad guy, sorry. Also, that takes us to the High Republic era. If this planet got lost during the time of the High Republic, then the Sith haven't been around for hundreds of years. The Sith are just legends at this point. So the parents, the only knowledge that they would have of the Jedi and Sith would be that the Sith are extinct. So they wouldn't assume that a bad guy would have a lightsaber. They would assume that only a Jedi would have a lightsaber. Especially a High Republic looking lightsaber like that, a blue one at that. So it would only make sense that these parents' only knowledge of the Jedi, if At-Attin was hidden in the High Republic era, would be that the Jedi, people who wield lightsabers are Jedi, and people who are Jedi are good guys. They're the keepers of the peace. And the Sith have been extinct for hundreds of years. That's the only knowledge they would know of people with lightsabers. So they would trust Jod right away because he wields this lightsaber. They wouldn't be scared of it. They would trust it. Does that make sense? So I think episode 8 is not going to open with him slicing and dicing all these kids and parents. It's going to be him showing the lightsaber because he's proving that he is trustworthy. Yeah. So with that, that ends episode 7. Now, again, it's my favorite episode of the series so far. I think the finale will take the cake. I hope it sticks the landing like crazy. We get answers to all the questions of who's the supervisor, what's Jod's backstory, all that stuff. We'll speculate about it to no end. Don't you worry. But we got a lot more people in the chat now than we did at the start of the breakdown. So please tell me in the chat what you rank this episode out of 10 right now. Let's see those scores. Where are we at? With over 200 votes, by the way, on this poll. 69% nice of you loved it, which is fan-freaking-tastic. Not only that it's 69%, but that many of you guys loved this episode. I loved it right along with you. But let me, I missed some super chats, so I want to get to those first. Okay, cool. Star Wars Forge with a very generous $2 holla. I appreciate that. Star Wars Forge says, I want Kamari Vosa to appear in Skeleton Crew. Kamari Vosa. Why does that name sound so familiar? Hang on. Kamari Vosa. Human Joe. Oh, Star Wars Forge. You were DMing me about this, weren't you? Oh, yeah. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. From the Bounty Hunter game. Yes. Right? Bounty Hunter game? What's the Bounty Hunter game? Yeah, that's your guy. Yeah, I got you. I get you. Darth Plagueis lives with a very generous $5 holla. I appreciate that. Says, love the episode. Don't want it to end. 10 out of 10. Yeah, don't want it to end is always a thing that kind of, it goes either way. Okay? It goes either way because, yes, you want it to end because that means we're going to get an awesome ending. But at the same time, you never want it to end. The good news is that it's already been rumored, not confirmed, but rumored that these characters from Skeleton Crew, most likely the kids and Jod, will appear in Dave Filoni's Mandoverse movie. So likely, we will see a few familiar faces from the Skeleton Crew series moving forward in the Mandoverse. Yeah. Blue Cat, what's up? But yeah, I mean, an ending is only great because it happened, you know? An ending is not a sad thing. It's great because it happened. But 10 out of 10, I appreciate that. I appreciate the super chat as well. Fearless says, loved episode 7 with a $2 holla. I appreciate that too. Can't wait for the finale. A Vader impression? What kind of Vader impression? Like Anakin Vader or Vader Vader?
Incorrect.
Because I could do that. Can I get some good Cubs follow orders in the chat, please? Bumpa. Incorrect.
Incorrect.
That never gets old. Probably my favorite clip that we have. Jordan Rennie with a very generous $5 holla. I appreciate it. Jordan says, I'm looking forward to learning what happened or what happens to all those credits. All right, let's talk about that for a second. So we see at the end of this episode this massive room with all these credits. And this is just one of over 1,000 vaults full of credits. Right here. Now, this is a big deal. Whoever ends up with these credits wins. Whoever gains the over trillions upon trillions of credits in these vaults wins the war. So if it's Thrawn in the Heir to the Empire, he wins. He has the funding to create all the army he wants, all the ships he wants to destroy the entire galaxy. If it's the New Republic, they win. They can take over the entire Outer Rim. They can do all that stuff, and they win. But the sort of underlier that people think will be the guy who gets it or the group that gets it is the First Order. The explanation as to how the First Order got so powerful so quickly, had the ability to fund projects like Starkiller Base and all that stuff. How did the First Order get so much funding? How did the First Order do all that stuff? It's likely that whoever ends up with the control of At-Attin, the control of these credits, wins. They win. They win everything. Just forfeit because they win. They have all the funding they want to make a bigger army than you, more ships than you, more everything. You win. So At-Attin is the key to winning all of it. Whoever wants to take control of the galaxy, whoever wants to win the war, win the war. You have to take control of At-Attin. Now, we've talked about this before, but somebody has deciphered the coordinates to At-Attin and where it resides in the Star Wars galaxy. And it's close in proximity to Dathomir, the planet that Grand Admiral Thrawn just arrived on at the end of Ahsoka Season 1. So it's likely that Thrawn could be arriving and taking At-Attin for his own, which would be insane. It's really crazy because I made a what-if video on the channel. Shout out to all you guys who watch my what-if videos. I appreciate it quite a bit. But I made a what-if video on the channel like months and months and months ago now. But it was what if something about Grand Admiral Thrawn winning or something. Hang on. Let me see if I can find it. Let me see if I can find it. Oh, whoops. Nope, don't do that. Don't do that. Okay. Where is it? Wait, what? Where is it? Hang on, chat. What if... It's not if what if Qui-Gon survived. Oh, maybe it's what if Grogu stayed with Luke. Maybe it's what if Grogu stayed with Luke. Yeah, it must have been. Okay, so it was in my what if Grogu stayed with Luke Skywalker, the Book of Boba Fett video. And it's about Thrawn taking over the galaxy and how he did it from Dathomir, moving forward, expanding with Mandalorian close proximity, maybe taking over the Mandalorians again. But what I didn't know was that At-Attin existed. So At-Attin being in close proximity to Dathomir is going to play a big role as to hopefully seeing Thrawn take over At-Attin, taking all the credits that they have there and taking over the galaxy. That's what I think could be happening. Yeah. Last episode is 51 minutes. Where are you guys seeing this? I've heard this a shit ton. 50 minutes, 51 minutes, over 50 minutes. But where are you guys seeing that? The lowdown says, but why light the saber? Are the parents that lost that they don't question why he's lighting a saber? No reason to. You can show the lightsaber without igniting it. True. Why does he light the lightsaber? Well, maybe he's reminding the kids of who he is and what he will do. Like, he has to keep the kids from telling the parents that he's a bad guy. And the kids are right there. They could easily go, he's a bad guy. But they've now seen what he's capable of. They just saw him murder Brutus in cold blood. They just saw him chop off SM-33's head. They know what he's capable of. They know that he will kill their parents. So him igniting the lightsaber might not be for the parents, but for the kids, to keep them in line, to not tell their parents who he is. Yeah. He's still dressed as a pirate. That's true. He is still dressed sort of like a pirate. He's got a trench coat on and everything. But I don't know. Would they really know what a Jedi looks like? They've never seen one in their lives. The kids didn't know what one looked like. They thought that Job was a Jedi when they first met him too. Yeah. Kids show equals no parents getting offed? Maybe. Hippie, what's up? All right, let's talk about this, because there are still two scenes from this Skeleton Crew series, from all the promotions, all the trailers, all the TV spots, everything that we've received from this Skeleton Crew series in terms of advertisements. We've seen it all, except for two scenes. Two scenes, and that's it. So we only know of two scenes that will be in the finale, and these are those two scenes. One that we've talked about quite a bit, and that is Wim's dad, Fern's mom, in the Supervisor's Tower, confirming that we will be going into the Supervisor's Tower, which is awesome. So that's that. That will happen in episode 8, of course. There's only one episode left, so this will happen in that episode. But what's weird is what they're looking at here. It's possible that Jod brought all of them up into the Supervisor's Tower as a hostage, maybe. But I don't think that's what's going on here. First of all, Fern's almost crying. I don't know why. I really don't know what's going on here. All right, tell me what you think's going on in this right now. Hyperspace behind him. Yeah, honestly, it looks like hyperspace to me, but now it seems less likely that is hyperspace. Whatever. What they could be looking at here. Now you have to put into account that Wim is wearing something different. Wim is wearing different clothing here. So he's changed. He has had time to change his clothes, which is weird. So it's not like they went straight to this Supervisor's Tower. So maybe Jod, like John Groob just said, maybe Jod is in the process of letting the pirates in. Maybe Jod is currently up in the Supervisor's Tower right now by himself, and he is killing the Supervisor or whatever, turning off the Supervisor if it's a droid, and then he is turning off the barrier. But the parents and the kids are right behind them, trying to stop him. But maybe they're too late? I don't know. Wim has not only changed his clothes, but it looks like he's holding his walkie-talkie here, the one that he uses to communicate with Neil. So maybe Neil and KB went off to do something else. I don't know what they would have possibly done. Yeah. I don't know. But clearly they've some time has passed and they're looking at something. I mean, Fern's almost on the verge of tears here. I don't know why. What could she possibly be looking at that would make her this upset, other than Jod maybe killing somebody? And they all seem to be looking up. Why they're looking up, I don't know. What if chat. Now, hear me out. What if it went this crazy? What if this is not hyperspace behind them, but it is them going into space? It is them getting blasted off. The supervisor's tower does look like some sort of spaceship. What if they send, or Jod sends the supervisor's tower up into space, and they are watching, and the reason that they're so shocked and scared, they are watching as At-Attin below them gets bombarded by a attack by the pirates from above. What's in Wim's hand? It looks like the walkie-talkie that him and Neil use. Yeah. KB is trying to interface with the AI. I don't know. I don't know. KB died? I don't think so. I don't think they're gonna kill KB. Yeah. Neil still has to reveal the big gun on top of the building, on top of the school. Yeah, that's true. Maybe. It's gonna be some big battle at the end with the kids trying to save their home world from the pirates. Pirates trying to take the home world, trying to take the treasure. But some third party's going to come in and save the day or end the day, I guess. Whether it's Thrawn, who comes in and takes the Old Republic mine for himself, or meant for himself, or it's the New Republic. Because KB calls the New Republic. But the problem is, KB can only call Kim if the barrier is down. And wait, what? Jordan, hold up. What? Hold on a second, Jordan. What? Have you lost your goddamn mind? Jordan, with $105 hauler, the biggest super chat in channel history. Jordan, did you mean to do that? Was that a typo? What? Holy shit, Jordan. Says, tell us what it's like getting your hands on all of those credits. The feeling is like Jod. I feel like I'm about to kill a bunch of younglings and parents. I feel the power flowing through. I feel invincible right now. You want to know the power? You want to know what it feels like? It feels like, I don't know. I don't know what it feels like. That is insane. Jordan, I appreciate it. Holy shit. You just made my day. No year, no month, no century. I appreciate that quite a bit. Biggest super chat in channel history. I appreciate it, Jordan. Quite a bit. Holy fuck. God damn. Okay. Now we're getting going. Rebel Sith was his first ever super chat. $5 holla. I appreciate it, Rebel Sith, but you didn't say anything. But I appreciate it nonetheless. Holy crap. You guys are feeling extra generous today. Jordan specifically. Holy crap. That just threw me completely off. Now I lost my entire train of thought. I don't know what to do anymore. What do I do with my hands, chat? Okay. I don't know what to do anymore. Hi, Hodges says, don't let all those credits get to your head and put out the lightsaber on all of us. You know what all those credits feel like? You know what it feels like to me, chat? Feels like I might go all Order 66 Anakin on you guys. Put that back there. Okay. All right, let's keep going now. Let's keep going. Let's keep going. Can I get a Darth Vader going no? Sure. I appreciate it, Inklet. I really do. His no is more like a no. That was pretty good. Without having any prior video for that, too, that was pretty good. No. Like, he just realized his Padme is dead. His whole life's a lie. I appreciate it, Inklet. I really do. Jordan is from At-Attin. That could be possible. That could be very, very possible. Jordan, I think, just won the lottery a couple weeks ago because he's just going crazy with these super chats. I appreciate it, Jordan. Trust me, I really, really do. But let's get back to where I was, which I don't remember where I was. whoever takes control of these credits wins the war. So if it's Grand Admiral Thrawn who becomes the third party entering at the end, it's probably going to be him. But if we go back to this image where they're in the supervisor's tower, it does look like Wim's holding the walkie-talkie. Obviously, KB and Neil are not here, so maybe they're somewhere else trying to do something else. I don't know. But I guess only time will tell because we only have one episode left. Now, there is one other frame. One other frame that we haven't seen yet. And this is from months and months and months ago, from before the show even aired. A month before that, this frame was released of Neil, Wim, KB, and Wim's dad on speeder bikes, speeding through the streets of At-Attin. Where are they going? And why is it these four? We just saw a different four. Fern's mom, Wim's dad, Wim, without Neil and KB. And then there's without Fern and Fern's mom. So they all split up at some point. Unless they're all maybe one after the other here. Maybe they're in different rows. I don't know. But it seems like they might have split up here. This is actually before. Is he wearing the purple jumpsuit? Yeah, he is. Okay. This is after he gets the purple jumpsuit on. So maybe they split up, go back to their houses first. I don't know. Why would they split up? I don't know. I really don't know what's going on here, but this was released months ago. Like a frame from episode 8 was released months ago. Again, nobody knowing that was going to be huge. Nobody. The house looks like it's on fire behind them. It does look like there's some sort of explosion happening behind them. So maybe at this point, the pirates have arrived. Neil is clearly looking up at something in the sky. So maybe the pirates have arrived. But they're racing to get somewhere. They're racing to get somewhere and to do something. But I don't know what it is. They have both the walkie-talkies are right here. So maybe this is when they split up, and then they split up and end up that two of them get into the supervisor's tower. Maybe KB in this scene, KB and Neil go off to do something else. I don't know what they would do. Go off to do something else of some sort. I don't know. I don't know what they would do. But they go off to do something else. Stop the pirates single-handedly, I guess. I don't know. But the two of them in the middle, Wim and his dad, go off to meet Fern and her mom to go into the supervisor's tower. But what doesn't make any sense to me is the episode ends with all of them together right outside the vault. So how do they go from that to this? Oh, Tony. What's up, Tony? With a very generous $10 holla. God damn, Tony. I appreciate that quite a bit. This episode 7 was a banger. The finale will be wild. It was a banger, and I'm hoping the finale will be just as good, if not better. If not better. And, oh my God, Star Wars Sith Tony with a very generous, 13-month membership. Holy crap. Has it been that long already? If you guys have not yet subscribed to Star Wars Sith, I don't know what the hell you're waiting for. If you like good content, that's where you should be. Obviously here too, duh, but also with Tony. So I appreciate it, Tony, quite a bit. But let's get back to this. So these are the only two frames, this and this, that we haven't seen yet from this Skeleton Crew series. With one episode left. That's it. And honestly, these can't really be explained either, which is pretty wild. Catherine, what's up? You think all the money on At-Attin will be destroyed? I don't think so. I think whoever comes into control of the credits on At-Attin, again, they win the war. If it's Thrawn, he becomes the heir to the Empire. He has the ability to take over the Empire really quickly. If it's the First Order, it would make sense how they got all the power that quickly. Maybe it's Thrawn at first, then Thrawn fails, and then the First Order gets all the credits after. That's very possible. But whoever gets control of the credits is going to win the war. So I don't think they'll be destroyed. I definitely don't think they'll be destroyed now. Another cool little thing about the end of the episode is, and I don't know if this was on purpose or not. It must have been. It's way too on point to not be on purpose. But tell me if you caught this. So the last scene of the episode goes like this. Fern looks over at Jod with concern in her eyes. The next scene is Jod's face looking at her. Keep in mind, Fern Burns' head is on the right side of the screen. Jod's is on the left. And then the final scene is him igniting the lightsaber off to his right. Off to his right. So keep that in mind. Right, left, right. Right, left, right. Got it? Got it. It is the exact same as Anakin Skywalker going to kill the younglings, except for flipped. It goes right, left, right in Skeleton Crew. It goes left, right, left in Revenge of the Sith. Master Skywalker, there's too many of them. What are we going to do? On the left. Anakin on the right. And his lightsaber gets ignited on the left. You can't tell me that this was a coincidence. You just can't. It's the exact same. It's awesome. It's so cool. This is what Star Wars is all about. These little tiny details. Somebody in the back room going, oh, we could make these 3 little scenes back, bang, 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 the exact same as Anakin killing the younglings in Revenge of the Sith. We could totally do that. Literally, that scene goes right to this scene, which goes right to this scene. In Skeleton Crew, this scene goes right to that scene, goes right to that scene. You can't tell me that that's a coincidence. Now, the difference, I think, here is that Anakin slaughtered all the younglings. And Jod, will not be. Yeah. So the difference is he will definitely not be killing all the kids and the parents and the younglings. No way. But Anakin did. But even still, like, the attention to detail in this series is beyond cool. Not only are things from tiny little references, tiny little breadcrumbs from episode 1, 2, and 3 paying off way bigger than I possibly could have imagined in episode 5, 6, 7, and 8, probably. But now you got stuff like this. Really cool, tiny little details, tiny little scenes that are connecting to Anakin Skywalker during Order 66. I mean, it doesn't get any cooler than that. It really doesn't. Oh, Blue Cat with a very generous $10 holla. First ever super chat. Oh, hang on. First ever super chat. I appreciate that quite a bit. Says, Mike, is there any connection between the Knights Troopers, golden armor, and the materials that credits are made out of? I'm going to say no. First of all, because the Night Troopers' armor is gold. The reason it's gold is because they were on Peridia and they were all probably destroyed, so they had to piece them back together. And whatever resources they had on Peridia is what they used to piece them together. Maybe Night Sister magic, maybe not. I don't know. So I don't think it's the same. But I mean, gold is gold, right? So maybe it is. I have no idea. I don't know, but I appreciate it. I really, really do. I really, really do. And the fact that sort of the Chimera has that gold accent to it as well could be foreshadowing the fact that he's coming to At-Attin. I don't know. I don't know. Mike, I posted the $5 hub, but I accidentally didn't type a message. Okay. Oh, you sent it to the Discord? Okay. I'll read it in a second. I'll read it in 1 second. Because JITRN, Jitrin, sure, with a very generous $2 holla says, the New Republic will save the day. Okay, let's talk about it. As you can tell, and I'll get Rebel Sith, I will get to your message in 2 seconds. I know I said 1 second, but 2 seconds now. As you can tell, in the thumbnail for this video, for this live stream, I put Grand Admiral Thrawn and Hera Syndulla. There was rumors about a year ago that the story moving forward in the Mandalorian trilogy, or whatever we're going to get, in the Mandoverse, is going to be Thrawn as the heir to the Empire, the genius general mind of Thrawn, versus Hera Syndulla. And the reason that that's going to be awesome is because neither of them are Force users. Neither of them have the Force. Yes, you have the characters of Ahsoka. You have characters like Jod, like Luke Skywalker, hopefully Cal Kestis, Sabine Wren, Ezra Bridger, those Force users, lightsaber wielders, awesome, badass characters. You have those. But the main focus will be between 2 generals. 2 awesome generals who have a crazy backstory together, too. Like, this is not just the first interaction between Hera and Thrawn. They go all the way back to when she knelt on her knelt is knelt a word? She kneeled before him on Ryloth as she pretended to be just a normal citizen, but she got caught by Thrawn, and then Thrawn told her everything he knew about her and her people, and she was like, you know? So they have a crazy backstory together in Star Wars Rebels, and now what's going to happen in this Mandoverse is that these two generals of each side of the war are going to go head-to-head at all times on who is better. Who's the better general? And honestly, it's Thrawn, but we're going to get to see Hera have a lot more help. Hera has Luke Skywalker. Hera has Ahsoka. Hera has Ezra. She has more help. But Thrawn is a strategical genius, so we'll see how that goes. And like I said before, whoever gets control of At-Attin wins the war. So if Hera Syndulla shows up in the Ghost with the New Republic behind her in this finale, then the New Republic will have the control of those credits and the ability to fund the war to stop Grand Admiral Thrawn. Because Thrawn isn't mentioned or referenced in the sequel trilogy. So his attempt at taking over the galaxy can be big, but it can't last. We know that the New Republic will win. We know that the First Order will rise. We know how the sequel trilogy begins. And Thrawn's not there. So Thrawn has to lose. In order for him to lose, he can't be that powerful. So if he gets the Old Republic Mint, then he might have too much power. But if the New Republic comes in, if Hera Syndulla comes in and wins the war, wins At-Attin, then they will have the credits now. I don't know. It could go either way. That's the thing. We're going into this 8th episode completely blind. Completely blind. So we'll see. Yeah. All right, but let me get to Rebel Sith's super chat. He sent it into the general one. Okay, he said, Tack says the last Old Republic Mint. He means pre-High Republic era. Since he wouldn't say old referring to his own era. Only post-Order 66 prequel time would be called the Old Republic. Only post. Okay, I think I get what you're saying. So Tack Rennick calls it the last Old Republic Mint. He can't be referring to the High Republic era because he has to be referring to an era older than him. I get what you mean, but let me sort of counter argue that. Tack Rennick, we don't know when he died. We don't know. It could have been 100 years ago. Could have been a couple hundred years ago. Even if it is 200 years ago. That's still in the High Republic era. There's not a specific date, well, there is in the timeline, but there's not a specific date to the people in Star Wars that says Old Republic ends here, High Republic starts here. There's not that line. So when they're saying Old Republic, they're just referring to all the Old Republic that came before. So we don't know when Tack Rennick died. That's the issue. We don't know what he's referring to when he says old. How old is he talking about? Yeah. So there's still a lot that needs to be revealed on that side of things. There's still a lot that needs to come forward in sort of explaining that. Yeah. Oh, Inklet with a very generous $5 holla says, can I get a Star Wars creature suggestion to crochet at the end of the stream? Can you do a lightsaber impression or an AT-AT? A lightsaber impression? I can do that. Ready? Okay, but a creature to crochet. Oh, obviously, Cathalops. Come on. Skeleton Crew, Cathalops. Give me the Cathalops, please. Yeah. The Old Republic ended on a Tuesday. Yeah, it's not like that, though. It's not like the Old Republic ends on a Tuesday and Wednesday's the High Republic. Welcome to the High Republic now. Yeah. Mike, we've speculated whether Mando and Grogu could show up at the end of Skeleton Crew. With that in mind, do you think that Jod Nawood could show up in the Mandalorian and Grogu movie? I think that all these characters could, in theory, show up in the Mandalorian and Grogu movie. Absolutely. Now, will they? Maybe not. Maybe some of them. Maybe just Jod. Maybe just the kids. I don't know. I don't know. The monkey thing from the spaceport? Oh, yeah, you could do the monkey thing. The teak. The teak's a good one, too. I want an actual Jedi to appear, not because I want a cameo, but because the kids deserve to see how a real Jedi looks. They don't deserve the lightsaber trauma. LOL. Well, that is kind of interesting too. If these kids even meet like a Luke Skywalker, are they going to trust him after what they've gone through with Jod? I don't know. It'll be interesting. Smile Loren says, the years of the High Republic started in 500 BBY. The Old Republic ended in 1032 BBY. That's true to us as the audience, but to the people of Star Wars, they don't see it that way. When the High Republic era was around, they weren't calling it that. They were just calling it the Republic. You know? Agree. If Luke Skywalker shows up, I'm losing it. I don't think Luke Skywalker will show up. I think it's way more likely that a character like Hera Syndulla will show up, or a Carson Teva, or even Din and Grogu. I don't think Luke would show up. Luke would have to somehow find out about At-Attin, be informed, leave his Jedi temple, leave whatever he's doing, come save these random people. It would be a lot. The New Republic would make more sense. Thrawn would even make more sense. Luke seems like a wild shot. But hey, I would have said the exact same thing about Luke showing up in the Mandalorian Season 2 finale. So anything is possible at this point. Yeah. Okay, but let's talk about the finale for a second. Sorry, episode 7 and the finale. Because a lot of fans were upset that we didn't get the backstory explained for Jod Nawood. And I was also one of those people who was saying over and over and over again, episode 7 will be the time where we get his backstory. Episode 7 will be the time where we get his backstory. And the reason for that was because Jude Law, who plays Jod, said that his favorite episode was episode 7. But he also said that we will learn about his backstory. We will learn why he has the Force, where he was born is important, what happened to him was important. He didn't have a childhood, all that stuff. But I kind of put those two things together. Because he says it happens late in the season. He says his favorite episode is episode 7. So I just put 2 and 2 together, and I thought episode 7 would be when we learned about his backstory. Seems as though that's going to be episode 8. Some fans have said that they don't think we will ever learn about his backstory. Tell me in the chat if that's you. Do you think we will ever actually learn Jod's backstory? Tell me in the chat. I think we 100% will in episode 8. It might not be this massive flashback to some huge, crazy event, but maybe it'll be an explanation to Jod's backstory. At some point, when he has a chance, he explains to the kids what he went through, or something along those lines. Interesting. We got a bunch of yeses, a bunch of nos. Huh. I think we will. And here's why. Here's why. I do have some reasonings as to why. I go back to this Entertainment Weekly article time and time again because it's so important. When when Jude Law is asked this question, now that we've learned what your character's true identity as Jod Nawood or Captain Silvo or Crimson Jack or whatever we want to call him, what can you say in terms of the background of his background as a Force user? So he's asked specifically, oh, you can't see that, can you? He's asked specifically his backstory as a Force user. And Jude says this. That doesn't really come out until right near the end when you really get an insight into the backstory of why he may be a Force user and is Force sensitive. This right here, this one line alone tells me that we will be seeing or hearing how he was a Force user, why he is a Force user, and an insight into his backstory. And he does confirm that it doesn't come out right until the end, or near the end. So right until near the very end, episode 7 or 8, which we are past 7, so 8, is when we learn about his backstory. We get an insight into his backstory and why he may be a Force user. We haven't seen this yet. We saw him go all dark side on us, but we haven't seen why he may be a Force user. We haven't. So that has to be revealed in episode 8. He actually goes on to say even more. It was a detail that was always there. Creators John Watts, Christopher Ford, and I really went back and made sure that they were on the same page as to where he was born and what happened. Meaning, where he's born is very important. And I've brought it up a million times, but when he goes to At-Attin in episode 4, he says it looks like his home planet. Meaning, his home planet is going to be very important. What his upbringing was could be extremely important. Yeah, could be. So, let's keep going though. Because he talks about his childhood, which is pretty interesting too. It's kind of interesting, but a very revealing page of his past, I would say, is that he's not someone who had a childhood. He's someone who had his childhood snatched away from him. And before episode 7, I was thinking that that would mean that he was a Jedi. And the Jedi Order are the ones who snatched his childhood away from him. But now, not so much. I think that his childhood was probably on some war-torn planet. Maybe a Sith found him, maybe somebody else. I don't know. I don't know how he learned the Force, but it doesn't seem like he was ever with the Jedi Order. He seems too dark to have been that way. Now, you could make the counter argument, and I'll play devil's advocate for myself even, that he is quoting Qui-Gon Jinn. He knows the ways of the Jedi Order. He knows the ways, but he is quoting Qui-Gon Jinn and quoting the ways of the Jedi Order. I don't know, Chad. It's pretty interesting. It is pretty interesting. And I'm curious, after episode 7, what people think about this. I'm going to end this poll because I want to start up a new one. By the way, 70% of you loved the episode. 23% of you liked it. 4% said meh, and 1% hated it with almost 300 votes. That's insane. Let me put up a new poll, though. Do you think Jod was a Jedi? Yes or no? Now, what's really cool is we have the polls from before the episode aired, where I pulled up, do you think that Jod was a Jedi? It was 50-50. 50% of you saying yes, 50% of you saying no. It was actually 49-51. But we did it multiple times and the same outcome happened. It was 49-51, 49-51. Other? Now, there can't be an other here. He either was with the Jedi Order at one point or he wasn't. There's no other in that scenario. Define Jedi. Oh, okay, let me clear it up then. What I mean by was a Jedi, I mean he was once with the Jedi Order. Yeah. Okay. So I'm very interested to see if this poll changed since episode 7. After we learned about his very, very dark side of Jod Nawood, killing Brutus, chopping off SM-33's head, threatening the kids like that, do you still think that he was a Jedi once? Do you still think he was a Jedi at the Jedi Temple on Coruscant at some point? How else would he know, to quote Qui-Gon Jinn, how else would he know the ways of the Jedi Order? Could have learned it from someone else. Could have learned it from someone else. Could we be seeing Nina Nawood? Han Solo's Cup. Nice name, by the way. Han Solo Cup. Nina Nawood's a pretty interesting thing. Because she only exists on Google Cast. When you look up the Skeleton Crew cast, and let's see if she still exists. Skeleton Crew cast. She's gone. Oh, no. I stand corrected. She's not gone. She's been pushed up. She's been pushed up in the cast. Because usually she's right here where Brian is, but now she's actually moved up. So I thought she was gone. She is still here. So when you look up the cast of Skeleton Crew on Google, there's this mysterious character named Jedi Nina Nawood. And through 7 of the 8 episode series, we have not seen this character. So could she be in the final episode? Maybe. Could we get a flashback of this character who trained Jod in the ways of the Force? Possibly. What do we think? He must have a teacher who knew how to use the Force. You can be Force sensitive, but you need somebody to master it. Yes, I mean, that's what we learned in Ahsoka. There's people who can wield the Force without any training, like to just grab something, but to be able to control it the way that Jod does, you gotta have training. What if Nina is Jod's lost daughter? Then why would her name be Jedi Nina Nawood? Why would it say Jedi? Like, no other character here has anything like that in front of their name. It's not Pirate Vane. It's not Dad Wendell. It's not Jedi Jod or Pirate Jod. It's not Undersecretary Farah. It's only Jedi Nina Nawood. Darth Thor says the Jedi took her. I think if this Jedi Nina Nawood character does exist, which again is a big if, an enormous if, the only place she exists is right here. So if she does exist, I think we will be getting a flashback in episode 8 to Order 66 or to the Jedi Temple on Coruscant or to just a flashback to the Jedi Order time period where Jedi Nina Nawood is the master of Jod and Jod's name is something completely different. And he took the name of Jod Nawood to honor his master as just another alias for the kids because we've seen so many different names for Jod. So I think in episode 8 we will learn Jod's true name, his true backstory, how he learned to wield the Force, where he came from, his home planet, and who he is, like who he actually is. Because we're 7 episodes in and we have no idea. We don't even know his real name. So episode 8 will be a huge reveal fest for Jod Nawood. But it would also reveal a lot of other things too. Who the supervisor is, why At-Attin was hidden, who hid At-Attin, how long ago it was hidden, who's going to win the war by getting all these credits. Like there's so many unanswered questions going into episode 8 that need to be answered with not a lot of time. Really not a lot of time. Yeah. But interesting. All right, tell me in the chat, do you think that Jedi Nina Nawood, give me a 1 if you think that Jedi Nina Nawood truly does exist and will be in episode 8. Give me a 2 if you're like, no way, the only place she exists is on Google Cast. And we haven't seen her through 7 episodes. So it's probably likely that she doesn't exist. 1 is yes, she exists. 2 is no, she doesn't. Tell me in the chat. Tell me in the chat. Do we know how long episode 8 is going to be? People keep telling me 50 minutes, 50 plus minutes, but I haven't seen anything about it. So if you do know that for a fact and you have some sort of actual fact on that, please send it to the Discord. I'd love to know. She can have some sort of small role in episode 8. True, but it would have to be in some sort of flashback. Interesting. I'm seeing a lot of 1s. So the majority of you guys, in 1-5, thanks, Hal Runner Base. The majority of you guys think she will be in this show, which is crazy. That's absolutely insane. She's on IMDb as well. I have a screenshot. Or she was on. Yes, she was on IMDb at one point, but she was removed. Yeah. 51 minutes. We got 51 minutes. Where are you seeing this 51 minutes thing? Can somebody send that to me, please? Oh, yeah, guys. So this is a little bit of a stupid stuff, but it happens when we are a growing channel. Shout out to Mike for catching this. Hang on. So here's the deal, chat. We have gotten big enough to the point where we have fake accounts trying to scam people. So if you see a thing that is official guy who loves Star Wars or anything that's not me, clearly, I mean, it looks like me. It's my thumbnail and everything. It's my picture, profile picture. Just if I ever say this, something like this, it's clearly not like I would never do that. I'd never tell you to join anything, click a link, or do anything like that. I have banned this person. I've reported them. A bunch of other people have reported them. If you see anything like this, just report the person. I'm not going to ask you for anything. I'm not going to ask you for any information ever on a comment on a video. Ever. And if it says like you win a giveaway or something, that clearly doesn't happen. We only do giveaways live. So unless it's my face telling you it live, then just don't believe any of this stuff. It's probably going to happen a lot more now because we're just a growing channel. It happens. Just don't believe any of this stuff. If there's any links, don't click them. If there's anything like this, don't do anything with it. Don't do anything like that. It's not me. It's never going to be me. It's all over the place on YouTube, not just my channel, but all over the place with Star Wars channels and every channel, really. But just don't believe any of it. It's just fake. It's whatever. So just ignore it. I'm never going to do anything like that. I'm never going to ask you to join me on WhatsApp. I'm never going to ask you to click a link. I'm never going to ask you to do anything like that. So never believe it. Never take any of that. It's not real. If you ever want to talk to me about something like that, or if you have any sort of question as to whether it's real or not, ask me first. DM me on Instagram. DM me on my actual accounts across the board. So yeah, it's not going to be me. It's never going to be me. So just don't believe any of it. Thank you to Mike for sending that to me, and Kit Fisto found another one too. So we got rid of him. We made sure he's gone forever, but just watch out for it. Yeah. It's just stupid. Stupid people like to do stupid things, you know? It's a weird world we live in. Weird indeed. Oh, the mind of Lucas with a very generous $5 holla. First ever super chat, Lucas. I appreciate that. It says, you are not a Jedi until you pass the trials. Until then, you are just a Padawan. Have you forgotten about the Boken Jedi? He could be a Boken Jedi, but he's a lot older to be a Boken Jedi. Like usually a Boken Jedi would be somebody who's trained after Order 66. That's the definition of it. But he would be in his late 20s by the time of getting training after Order 66. So I don't know. Runtime of episode 8 is 46 minutes. See, you guys are just throwing crazy minutes at me now. I need some actual legit facts here. I need some sort of somebody send it to the Discord. Yeah. 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 Lee says, they told me to send them 2,000 pounds and they would send me back 1 million pounds. Well, I'm glad that you realize that that's just not realistic. Yeah. Episode 8 is 6 minutes. Okay, that's a good one too. I'll take that. Episode 8 is 24 hours. Okay. All right, but let's have a serious conversation about this. How long do you want episode 8 to be? And give me a realistic number. Don't be like 10 hours. Give me something actually realistic. How long do you want episode 8 to be? 46 minutes? Okay. 1 hour? 45 to an hour? Okay. 1 hour, at least 60 minutes, at least an hour. You guys are saying at least an hour. 74 minutes, an hour. That's a lot of hours. Okay. Let's go to Disney Plus for a sec. Let's go to Disney Plus. The longest episode of Skeleton Crew so far is the premiere, and it was 49 minutes. 1 minute less than 50 minutes. I think that's probably what the finale is going to look like too. Close to 50 minutes, if not a little bit over 50 minutes. But let's go to all the other Disney Plus series as well. Because I can count probably on one hand how many episodes are over an hour. Let's go to the 3 seasons of The Mandalorian. So Mando, season 1, the high is 50 minutes, the finale. So none of them. Season 2, 55 minutes is the premiere, and that's the high. So none of them. Season 3, 58 minutes is the high, 53 minutes. So none of them. So that's all of Mando. Let's go to Andor. Andor's actually got the longer episodes, doesn't it? Maybe this one has one. 42, 50, 57. Nope. 50, 57. Nope. Still none. Go to The Acolyte. 43, 49. Nope. Go to Ahsoka. 57 was the premiere. 49, 49, 52. Okay, so you guys get the gist. Never once. Book of Boba Fett has one? Okay, hang on. Book of Boba Fett has one. Let's see. Book of Boba Fett. Let's see. Oh, yeah, the finale. 1 hour and 2 minutes. Okay. One time has there ever been a episode on Disney Plus of Disney Star Wars content that is over 1 hour. The Bad Batch, true, the Bad Batch premiere, I'm talking live action stuff because Skeleton Crew's live action as well. Bad Batch is a little different. But only one time has there ever been a live action Disney Plus series from Star Wars that has been over an hour. So I think it's pretty unrealistic to expect it to be over an hour. I think the likelihood is that 50 mark. I mean, I'm guessing that it's going to be the longest episode of the series, but it could be 45 minutes. It wouldn't surprise me to be 45 minutes. I don't know. But let's talk about the low. How low can it get to where you'd say that episode was too short? What's the line? We talk about this all the time, but what is that line? When does it become too short? 40 minutes? 35? If it's 32 minutes, I quit Disney Plus. Oh my God. So 35 minutes is where you think it gets too short. Okay. 45, 40, 25. Okay. 30, 30, 30, 30. I see a lot of 30s. So you guys are saying you want it to be over an hour, but anything under 30 is too short? What if it's 31? It would be the shortest episode so far. So if it's 45 minutes, are we going to complain about it being too short? What's the spot? $47 is the longest, it seems. Damn it, Mike. What did I do? What did I do? John Watts says that episode 2 was the shortest. Okay. Between 45 minutes and 55 minutes, I think is the hot spot. Okay. That seems good to me too. I think that 40 to 50 minute range is the hot spot or the perfect spot for these Disney Plus series. I think when you look at it, again, it depends on the content inside the episode. When you look at Skeleton Crew, the first episode was 50 minutes or 49 minutes. 32, that episode didn't feel short to me. It didn't feel short. Episode 2 is my second favorite episode behind episode 7. Or maybe a third favorite, maybe behind episode 5. But it didn't feel short. The last 2 episodes felt short, but those are because of the cliffhanger endings. Cliffhanger endings make it feel short. So it fully depends on the content in the episode, how much gets explained in the episode, all that stuff. It fully depends on the ending. Is it like a really closed ending, actually feel good ending type deal? Or is it going to be another cliffhanger? Yeah. A lot depends on a lot of things, for sure. I'm hoping it's around 45 minutes at least, especially for a finale. And there's so much that needs to be explained. That's the thing. How are they going to explain all this? Jod's backstory, the supervisor, At-Attin itself, this big battle at the end between the pirates and who knows who shows up, whether it's Grand Admiral Thrawn or Harrison Dula in the New Republic or whoever. How are you going to do all that in just one episode that's only 35 minutes? Free Max says, I need quality over quantity. Exactly. I always bring up Tales of the Jedi when we talk about this minute restriction thing. Tales of the Jedi is one of the best things that's ever come out of Star Wars. Period. End of sentence. And it is the shortest. The episodes are 10 to 15 minutes. And it's still some of the best content we've ever had. So, runtime is sort of a crazy argument. It's definitely quality over quantity. That's for sure. Any new members today? No, not yet. We got a shit ton of super chats, though. I mean, you guys felt insanely generous. Of course, Jordan with the 105 biggest super chat in channel history. Crazy. Yeah. Tales of the Empire is crap? I completely disagree. Tales of the Empire is not liked as much as Tales of the Jedi because of the 2 characters they chose to follow. You go from Dooku and Ahsoka, who are 2 big characters, to Barriss Offee and Morgan Elsbeth. So if you really don't have a want for those 2 characters, then you're not going to like it. Yeah. The Acolyte is not canon, in my opinion. Well, that's your opinion. What am I supposed to do about that? I love the Acolyte. Yeah. Dare I say Skeleton Crew is mid? That is a crazy statement. But again, your opinion. I've absolutely loved the Skeleton Crew. I don't know where I rank it so far amongst, hang on, mid stretch. Ah! Okay. I don't know where I rank it above or around other Star Wars Disney Plus series. When you look at it across the board, it's not better than The Mandalorian. Not yet. I mean, you could put them up against season by season, and we'll see. It's not better than Ahsoka for me. The question becomes, is it better than The Acolyte? I don't think it's better than Andor. Is it better than The Acolyte? Is it better than Book of Boba Fett? Is it better than Kenobi? I don't know. Again, we haven't seen the finale yet. We have not seen the finale yet. But we'll have to see. We'll rank it. We'll rank it once it's over. Yeah. Yeah. They destroyed Barris's character? What? That's literally what she does in Legends. She becomes the healer. Yeah. I need more Andor. Well, that need will be given in a couple months. Andor Season 2 is on April 22nd of 2025. Yeah. Okay. By the way, this poll is way closer than I thought it was going to be. 53% to 47%. 53% of you say no, Judd is not a Jedi, but 47% still think he is. That's crazy. We got one episode left and we have no idea what's going on with this character. The main character, one of the main characters of the show. Crazy. Wild. Star Destroyer official says, we will be seeing the Empire in the last episode, question mark? I hope so. I hope so. Andor's peak, I agree with that. I agree with that. Are you going to Celebration this year? I am not. I'm not either. No. I actually had the chance to, and I turned it down for a bunch of reasons. Obviously, it's in Japan. That's very far away from me. And it's a lot of, money, obviously, and commitment to do that. And I think for me, it's honestly probably better for me to stay here and cover all the news from here, from where I am, instead of going over to Japan and having to try and cover it from over there. Yeah. Yeah. Lee, you're going? Nice. Is anybody else going to the Celebration? Mike, are you going to Coachella? No. No, I'm not. Yeah. I really hope this story ties into the First Order's richness. I hope so too. I think that this vaults, these 1,000 vaults, could be taking us into how the First Order gets funded. Now, I don't think it'll be directly right away how the First Order gets funded. I think it's going to be Thrawn's money first, and then it goes over to that. Yeah. Sam is going? Oh, is she really? I might have to talk to her about that. Yeah. Mike, is that your fancy way of saying you're broke? No. I thankfully am able to do the trip to Japan money-wise, but to me, I think it's just it's better for me to be here to cover it. Like, I can't cover it over there. I don't have my PC. I don't have my screens. I don't have my camera. I don't have anything. I wouldn't be able to cover all the news that happens. And I think there's going to be a lot of news this year. Star Wars Celebration this year is going to be insane. Like, when you look at the horizon for Star Wars content, you have the Mandalorian and Grogu movie, you have Andor Season 2, and you have Ahsoka Season 2. That's it. Yes, there's a few other movies that are in the sort of cycle of being created, but you don't have any more shows. You don't have any more animated shows. So the announcements are going to be massive. And I want to cover them to the best of my ability. And I would not be able to do that all the way across in Japan. Yeah. Yeah. Indeed. Okay. Let's there was so much more I wanted to get to in this stream, and we're already almost at 2 hours. This is crazy. Okay, let's get to this. because Jude Law, we watched this interview before about Jude Law talking about episode 7 specifically and his character's backstory and the ending. He talks about episode 8 as well. So let's watch this, a little bit of this, and then we'll sort of wrap this up. But let's do this.
Or the series. I don't know if it's going to have a second season. Which is your favorite and why without spoilers?
So he tells us his favorite episode is episode 7, and he gives his description of episode 7 without spoiling anything. And now that we've seen episode 7, it's kind of cool to listen to.
Okay, I've only seen them through once, so that's quite a hard question for me. Because I've got to get it sort of... My favorite one, I think it's 7. Because so much comes to a head and you find out an awful lot very quickly about my character. Not that it's all about me, but by doing that, it pushes the relationship with the kids to a whole new level.
And pushing that relationship to a whole new level is sit down, shut up. I'm going to chop up your parents if you don't shut up. That's the new level he's talking about. That's the relationship. And he talks about it all coming to a head, but it all comes to a head at the very end of the episode. It leaves us on a cliffhanger for episode 8. So yes, all this does come to finally at Attin. The pirates arrive, the kids arrive, they all get down to the planet, he gets to the vault, he finds the Old Republic Mint, it's all this finally coming together, but he's trapped there. He's by himself. He can't get his pirates down through the barrier. And he has no way of contacting them. So it has come to a head. With only one episode left, it all needs to be explained. Okay.
And it's just got some fun, funky stuff in it too. Can't wait for you to see it.
What do you think fans will say after they've seen the finale?
Now we're talking about the finale. Now we're talking episode 8.
Spoiler free, of course.
Yeah, I think they'll want more. That's what they'll say. They'll say, when can I get more of this?
See, we've talked about this before, but he says, when's the... Some people think he could have been saying, when's the second season? When's the Mandalorian and Grogu movie? When's whatever? He might have went on to spoil something because maybe he knows that there will be a second season. Maybe he knows that he will be in the Mandalorian and Grogu movie. We don't know, but there's just a speculation going there. Pretty cool. Okay. But what he talks about too is that we will want more. Kind of implying that there's going to be a cliffhanger ending, to say the least.
I think they'll be confounded and kind of, I hope, a little bit upset.
This line doesn't make sense to me. I hope they'll be upset. Now, fans did get upset in episode 7 because Jod went fully bad guy, and you end up seeing things like comparing him to Pong Krell, like the crazy characters like this. He putting him in the character category of being the baddest of the bad. So maybe that's what he's talking about, that people will be upset, and that's the upsetness that he's referring to here. But he's talking about the finale. So what we might be upset about, he's saying, I hope people will be upset. You think that means Jod dies? I don't think so. I think it might mean that the good guys lose. The good guys lose. Now, in Star Wars, I've said this before and I'll say it again, the best Star Wars content tends to be when the good guys lose. It's almost the case across all cinema and TV shows and everything like that. When the good guys lose, tends to be the best stuff. Revenge of the Sith, Empire Strikes Back, Ahsoka, tends to be the best stuff. Now, obviously, a good hero ending is also good too. Return of the Jedi, A New Hope. You have examples. The Mandalorian. But I think what he's saying about people being upset is that the good guys might lose. Thrawn might come into town, take over the planet, take over the credits, the Old Republic Mint, and the good guys could lose. Setting up the Mandalorian and Grogu movie, setting up what's to come next, but the good guys might lose, which is crazy. That would be absolutely bonkers. But that's why they might be upset. Saying that he hopes that we'll be upset is wild.
But it's also got, obviously, it's got a kind of Star Wars glorious ending to it too. But
So a Star Wars glorious ending means big battle scene. It means big, big battle scene. So it's probably likely that the pirates get down to the planet. This is big fight scene. Either the High Republic or New Republic, shows up, or Grand Admiral Thrawn shows up with his army, and we get to see them in action, which would be awesome. But it's some big, big ending where we get some big fight scene. Yeah.
There are layers. A lot happens, and a lot is revealed.
Yeah, John and Chris told me they're wondering when I'm going to put it all together and if I'll get there before the finale.
So the interviewer here, Steve from Collider, says that he's wondering when they will get. He says that John and Chris, yes, John and Chris, who are the co-creators of the show, were wondering if you would piece it together before the finale, which is weird because that means that we can piece it together as well. They believe that we can. Clearly. So it makes sense to me that all these sort of breadcrumbs that have been left around for the first couple episodes have been leading to what's to come next. Now, episode 7 clearly proved to us that is true. We all missed the autopilot sequence, landing sequence on At-Attin. Well, we didn't miss it, but we didn't know what it meant. We all missed the fact that it could be an At-Attin ship and not not a pirate ship. We all missed all these little details here and there. But maybe there's those details that we're missing right now that could inform us for this final episode. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see.
But so there's a lot of theories about your character online. Have you been reading any of that, or do you avoid it?
No, I haven't.
This is pretty cool. We watched this already, but we're watching it again. There is 3 options given to Jude Law here. 3. That's it. And he says that one of them could be close to being true.
Tell me.
Okay,
just get a little bit.
So some of the things I've read or have been saying, you could be related to Rey's father, Daffin.
Oh.
There's also, you could be a clone of Emperor Palpatine.
Wow.
Right. There's also, you're an Order 66 survivor.
I think there's a link there to one possible truth.
So he says there's a link there to one possible truth. Could he be referring to that he is a Jedi and that's why Order 66, the Jedi all die, that's the connection? Or could he be referring that he's somehow related to Palpatine, a clone of Palpatine or something like that? Based off his reaction, it was pretty wild as well. But he's given 3 options, and he says that one of them could be on the realm of possibility of being true. Not that that specific example is true, but it's close to being true or close to something that is the truth. Whether he's a Jedi or a clone of Palpatine or whatever it may be. What do we think? What do we think, chat? Of those 3 options, do you think any of them could be true? Jodpaltine? Oh my. Palpatine returning breaks all of the Skywalker saga. Lightsaber stab means nothing. Why did the Resistance show up in episode 8 when asked if there are billions in episode 9? What? Palpatine returning breaks all of the Skywalker saga. Lightsaber stabs mean nothing. But he wasn't killed with a lightsaber. Why does the Resistance show up in episode 8 when asked, and then there's billions in episode 9? I don't know what you're saying. Yes, but slightly more each time. I don't know what that means either. Somehow Palpatine returns never should have happened. I disagree with that. I think it was just the execution that happened wrong. Yeah. The parents' comm buoy can pass through the barrier. So I hope the pirates didn't find it. Well, the pirates did find it. That's who found it in episode 7. You're saying that the pirates could use the communication buoy to get back in? That's an incredible theory, James. Holy crap. What if they use the technology that is on the communication buoy that got through the barrier to get the frigate back through the barrier? So maybe when Jod needs it most, when Jod needs backup the most because he got caught, that's when the pirates arrive. Interesting. Oh my God. I like that theory quite a bit. That is crazy. That'd be wild. I never even thought of that. Yeah, because whatever technology that the buoy has, the communication buoy, the pirates now have that. And they could actually, do they have it? Yes, they do, because it's out in space. So they could grab it up and use the technology. Maybe. It'd be a risk. It would be a risk. We'll have to see. We shall see. But this interview was very cool and gives us a lot of insight onto what's to come next in the finale, of course. But I guess only time will tell. So we do have a live stream on Saturday and a live stream on Monday. So this is not the last time we'll be predicting episode 8, of course, and talking about episode 7. But we did get pretty far in our predictions and in our conversation, which is pretty cool. Now, I ended this poll. Do you think that Job was a Jedi? Still, 45% of you still say yes. 54%, the math is not mathing, say no. I wonder. I really wonder. Because he's quoting Qui-Gon Jinn, and he knows the Jedi way, but he's pretty dark. He's a pretty bad guy. But hey, I guess we'll have to wait and see. Smash a freaking like on the stream if you have not already. Hit that subscribe, hit that bell so you get notified every time I post a video. Huge shout out to the Mind of Lucas, Inklet, JITRN, Blue Cat, Star Wars Sith, shout out to Tony, Rebel Sith, Jordan, Fearless, Darth Plagueis Lives, Star Wars Forged, and Jordan again for the biggest super chat in channel history. I appreciate it quite a bit. You guys are the absolute best. Smash a freaking like on the stream. How many likes do we have, chat? Am I going to be upset? Oh, what the hell? I just dragged myself off the screen. Am I going to be upset, chat? Why is it doing this? What the heck? Oh. Am I going to be upset, chat? 132. We had like 300 people here. No, I'm kidding. We had over 200, though. That's not enough likes. Smash a freaking like on the stream if you have not already. Hit that subscribe and hit that bell so you get notified every time I post a video in my pretty face. We'll show up the recommended feed of yours. Okay. All right. Let's get on out of here. Hang on. Oh. We're good. All right. We got a live stream on Saturday, live stream on Monday. But until then, watch out for shorts, watch out for videos, all that fun stuff. And I'll see you guys next time. If you want to keep the conversation going, go join the Discord in the description below. There's a link in the description below to a Discord called The People Who Love Star Wars. Go join it immediately. Yeah. Another huge shout out to Jordan for that insane super chat. Absolutely wild. You're insane. But until then, may the Force be with you. Always. What just happened? Oh, yeah. What a great stream. What a great show. You guys are the absolute best. I appreciate you all so much more than you will ever know. This was an insane stream. Biggest super chat of all time. You guys were feeling extra generous today. And of course, that episode was incredible. So obviously our numbers just keep going up. Watch out for spammers that aren't me. Just don't believe anything. Don't click on anything. Unless it's me going, glad you liked the episode or something like that, then it's not me. But I appreciate you guys. Hope you have a great rest of your evening. Great rest of your lives. And good night, everybody.